Hey, my name is Levente from Journeyman AI, and today we're going to be looking at an AI appointment setter that I built using Bland AI for an auto sales use case. On this channel, I post different demos, tutorials, and just general things that I'm working on as I try to build my AI consultancy. So if that's something that interests you, definitely hit the subscribe button because I'll be posting a lot more things in the future. And now onward to the auto sales demo. This is the front page, and my team has done a really good job with just designing this to look as realistic as possible. It looks just like a car dealership. We basically have three different vehicles that you could purchase or inquire about. We have obviously the vehicle image, name, model, mileage, price, and then we have a little bit more kind of descriptive tags here. But the idea is, if you're interested in one of these vehicles, you want to inquire, then you would fill out this form. So when we fill out this form, then we make an API call to Bland, and then Bland, we send them a prompt indicating exactly who the user is, what vehicle they're inquiring about, how to set an appointment for them, and so forth. So let's check this out. We'll just put in my name, we'll put in my phone number, and then you click submit. And the way Bland works is if you don't have a reserved phone number, effectively they are using a pool of their phone numbers they have available. But you could see now I'm getting a call. This is a Miami number, so it is local to me. So let's see, I'll pick up and I'll try to put on speaker.
Hello, Levi. This is Roberto from Automaster. I'm calling about the inquiry you made regarding our 2020 Mercedes-Benz A220. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
That's great to hear, Levi. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm excited to tell you more about this Mercedes-Benz A220 you inquired about. It's a 2020 model with only 36,411 miles, and it's priced at $25,980. This is an excellent deal on a sleek luxury sedan in excellent condition. Do you have any other questions about the car's features or specifications?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you have any financing options available.
Absolutely, Levi. We have several financing options available to make this Mercedes-Benz A220 affordable for you. We work with a number of lenders who can provide competitive interest rates and flexible terms. What kind of monthly payment were you hoping to stay within? I'd be happy to go over the different financing packages we can offer to get you into this car.
I was hoping to stay under 500 a month, if possible.
Excellent, Levi. I think we can definitely get you into this Mercedes-Benz at 220 with a monthly payment under $500. Let me take a look at our financing options and see what we can put together for you. Given the car's price of $25,980 with a 10% discount, that brings the price down to $23,382. Financing that over a 60-month term at 9% APR, your monthly payment would be around $425. That's well within your $500 per month target. Does that monthly payment work for your budget? I'd be happy to go over the full details of the financing if you'd like. And of course, we can always look at different term lengths or down payment amounts to get the monthly cost where you need it to be. Just let me know what works best for you.
Perfect. I'd love to come in for a test drive.
Great. Let's go ahead and book your test drive appointment for tomorrow at 3 p.m. I'll have the car ready for you to take out and experience firsthand. I'm confident you're going to love how it drives.
Perfect. Thank you, Roberto. Awesome. So you can see, there's definitely some issues with the latency, but it's pretty good at following up on what it's directed to do, and we're going to look at that in a little bit. Very quickly, I'd just like to move over to the database part of this. So the call transcript. So we have the full transcript available, and we also have a summary of the transcript available. This is provided by Bland through a separate API endpoint. And also we have the appointment date. So remember they said we'd be able to come in for the test drive tomorrow at 3 p.m. All right, now let's take a look at some of the code. I'm trying to figure out what makes the most sense to start with, but probably this function, start conversation. This is what happens basically once the user clicks submit. So basically when the user clicks submit, we create a new demo user object, and then we initiate this function start conversation. So here you can see that basically the the target phone, that's what we're dialing. We have a task, which is effectively a prompt, which we'll look at in a second. We have a voice. I'm using my friend Judson's voice clone here, just for fun. And interruption threshold. So this is a parameter that the higher this number is, basically the more patient Bland is with your response. So definitely a big issue is if this is too small, then Bland will interrupt you before you finish answering. And if it's too large, then effectively it's very laggy. So that's a parameter you can tweak depending on what seems to work better. I found that about 70 to 100 seems to work better. Max duration, that's the maximum amount that the call will be live. So that's something you can tweak there. And then tools, this is something that we recently experimented with. And basically this custom tool is what sets the appointment. And then it's effectively, the way this is set up is Bland allows you to call any external or any API really, as long as you define the input-output schema. So we have created a separate endpoint, just appointment booking endpoint, and we define that in terms of the Bland tooling schema. And then we put that here, and basically Bland calls our appointment setting tool. Then this is some basic stuff here where, we take all this, we take the authentication token, and we invoke a API request here. Then basically what we do is after the call, or actually I guess you could say even while the call is happening, this is probably not the best way to do it. They do have some kind of webhook that they offer, but really what we're doing here is we're just polling, waiting for the call to finish, and once the call is finished and the call details are available, so we call this fetch call details function, then we get the transcript and we save the call details. So that's basically at the end. Remember, I showed you that we have the transcript saved in the database. So once the call is over, this code here executes, and we save the transcript into our database. So that's just a really high response. And down here, this is the submit car. Basically, this is when the user is clicking that button, we effectively create a new user, log that in our database, and then we initiate that start conversation that you saw here. But I do think it makes most sense for us to just cover some more of this API call here. So let's take a look at the task. So this task is coming here as input to the start conversation. So if we go to the submit car, let's look, where is that task coming from? And okay, so the task is basically coming from the agent prompt, right? So let's look at the agent prompt here. So this is, I think it's maxed at 2,000 characters, but this is where we're defining the behavior of the of Bland. So we're telling it that it's an auto sales agent named Roberto from Automaster, and we have some kind of conversation flow that we're mapping out here. Obviously, introduction, sharing information regarding the vehicle that they inquired about, inviting them to a test drive, negotiating. We're actually having this hard-coded in here where a discount is available to offer the user to entice them to come in, but a discount beyond 10% is not permitted. So we actually tested this where we're with different prompts, and we were able to override the prompt on the call to get larger and larger discounts. So this is obviously, just an example of good prompt engineering where you really want to make sure that the AI is human-like and flexible, but it's not, making you and your business lose money. So persuasion techniques, be very direct, persuasive. Closing, it's definitely the goal here is to schedule that test drive. The issue with Bland here is that you kind of have to pack everything into this one relatively small prompt. I've built other agents where you just have more flexibility. You have just more control. Obviously, this just makes it kind of quick and dirty in some cases, but I just don't like the lack of control and customizability. And I guess they do offer those toolings where you can add the custom tool, and that is kind of a nice add-on, I would think. But yeah, so this is the conversation flow. We have some compliance component here that's, again, reinforcing that discount. And then we have an example script where it's putting this in there, and then I guess if you add this to the prompt, then it keeps it on track a little bit better. So that's to give you an idea of the prompt. Okay. Now, if we go back, let's take a quick look at the tool. I think that's interesting to look at as well. So you saw here we were passing in this custom tool here. And basically each time we invoke Bland, so this ngrok link, basically we are hosting, this is all locally hosted, but you have to pass in a valid, HTTP URL that Bland can then invoke for your custom tool. So what we're doing is we're using something called ngrok to expose a certain port and then allow Bland to call back to that. So, high level, we created this API book appointment endpoint, and then we're passing that to Bland and saying, when it's time to book the appointment, you can invoke this URL with a post request. And then it's telling it like the date, time, service, client name, client phone. These are the things that are effectively like inputs. And then we give it like this sample input schema to kind of show it how it should behave. So hope that gives you a good idea. I mean, we could go into the front end, but I don't think that there's too much interest there. Yeah, so that's basically just a very quick overview of Bland and how I'm leveraging it for these appointment setters. I do think it's great because it kind of abstracts away all the overhead required with dialing and transcripts and stuff like that. So they do have some really great endpoints. I'll probably make another video just talking more about their API documentation. If that's something that interests you, put that in the comments. I have some other voice tools that I think are better, but Bland, I guess, is just very general purpose. It's great for the quick and dirty appointment setting, customer service type use cases. And, I'm really just scratching the surface here. So I'd love to build with a little bit more, and I'd love to showcase some more projects for you guys. So definitely hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you later.